Hello, welcome back to Around the Clock. We have a very special guest with us. We have John Dudley. John, welcome back to Around the Clock.
Thanks for having me.
So for some of our viewers, you might have remembered many years ago, John was my co-host a couple of times, guest co-host. John was on the Ashland Planning Board, but we've brought him back today to talk about his business, United Home Experts.
Great.
So, United Home Experts, what is it?
What is it? All right, we're a contracting business. We do roofing, siding, windows and doors, and painting.
Okay. Now, one of the biggest things people might not know, or if they do, is 60 Pleasant Street. The transformation of that building is due to you and your business. Talk a little bit about that. What brought you there and some of the transformations that have happened?
Sure. Okay. We had, the first thing at the time we came to Ashland was we bought an office flex space condo right here in Butterfield Drive, as you probably know
the
now.
Corner.
It's Fitness Together now, another good friend of mine, Bob Sabin. And we were there for 10 years. And it was about a 4,000 square foot space. But when we first got it, we thought, there's no way we'll be here forever. Like, there's so much space, we'll never know how to figure out how to use it even. And it got to a point where every time we took a window delivery from one of the big trucks from Marvin, it became a fire hazard. So everybody had to drop everything, including like the administrative staff, the phone people would have to jump out back, take windows off these huge trucks, and then put them into trucks. Yeah, we just ran out of space. It was it was like a little fire drill. So, and so then we had the need to for much more space. The challenge we faced, as you probably know this, I'm sure, in your position, is we got really comfortable at the town. We bought a house in town shortly thereafter. We lived in town, go to church in town. A lot of us worked there. A lot of my siblings moved to town, so I kind of loved it, and we were comfortable here. But there wasn't really any space for that next jump, so there was no 10,000 square foot space or freestanding buildings. I mean, I think some of these commercial brokers would laugh when they hear, "What I'd like," there's a commercial version of all the HGTV shows you watch. Which I want an open floor plan with 10,000 square feet. You're like, okay, sure you do. And then they see the price. But we couldn't find anything in town, and we were getting super frustrated. And we were looking for a couple of years.
Yeah. I remember hearing about that.
You remember that, right?
And then you decided on 60 Pleasant Street, which was a lot bigger than 10,000 square feet.
Yeah, you got that. Well, it's interesting how things happen like that. I had tried to identify just a list, which there really weren't any, of properties we might be able to lease even. I wasn't even 100% sure I was going to buy. Right. And I wasn't getting anywhere. And we almost left. I got pretty close into talks with two people, one in Framingham, one in Southborough. And I just kept bugging the heck out of the people that owned, the Massid family, which people knew Dudley Massid. And it didn't look like anybody was using it, even though he had bingo and everything out of there. Bingo. And I really just pestered them for 2 years. It was a blessing though.
John Dudley's way of doing things. Pester people and it'll happen.
Are you gonna sell it to me yet? What do you want? How about now? And then we just undertook it. It was a blessing how the whole thing occurred. We got in there. We really closed in a 2014 March, and it took us almost till Thanksgiving to get in there. So 6 months of just gutting and basically making our new home for United Home Experts. But we only really needed not even a quarter of the building. So I actually kind of laughed when that Dudley guy called me at one point. He said, "When I was your age, I just find a big building and I put a business in there and I find a way to fill it." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, all right."
But that's what you've done.
It wasn't quite like that, but
but you've filled it.
Yeah.
And you're now getting ready to celebrate 20 years of United Home Experts.
20 years, yeah. Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy, but congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a great thing. And you're having a big celebration on Saturday, August 18th. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. From 2 to 4, we have a public thing, which I hope you're coming to.
Yes, I am. I will be there.
I guess they do some kind of a ribbon cutting for 20 years, which is kind of funny. But
nice.
Whatever, we'll celebrate. And friends and family, that type of thing. It's family fun. I think we have bouncy house and ice cream truck and stuff like that. But the team wanted to celebrate, and we figured why not do it outside and have a lot of people there.
Great. We'll hope for good weather for you.
Yep.
But fun. So something negative that has come through this whole experience that you didn't expect in the 20 years?
Negative, I would say massive cost and time delays and getting everything done. No, I was kidding. I was like, where do you want to start? No, it's obviously mostly positive for our company. We've grown and have great people. But probably one of the toughest things, I would say, that the housing recession was just a train wreck for home improvement companies.
Right.
I mean, I lived through since from '98 on, probably the two biggest toughest seasons to get through were September 11th,
Yep.
2001. Literally sitting in my office watching the TV, and our phones almost didn't ring for a month.
Yeah.
It was like we were steadily busy,
Yep.
other than people that had active projects that were
Right,
going on, but
right.
no new business came in for a month. I mean, there was a period of time we were almost afraid to go to restaurants, remember?
Yeah,
And
it was a very
Just
stressful
panic
time.
came over,
Yeah.
and so that was a challenging time, but it did bounce back pretty fast thereafter. And the other one was 07, 08.
Right.
As far as that happened, when houses started to go underwater, people were very nervous about putting money into even replacing
Repairs,
leaky
yeah.
roofs,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So that was challenging, but those are the times where I think you really learn what you're made of as a company, and we got particularly good at really watching our numbers, even out of 2 points, and cutting costs. But we always tried to keep people first. I don't think we ever had to do any layoffs in that time period, which was
That's great.
Definitely, we were very fortunate. Yeah.
And then biggest positive for the company.
Probably the people. So I'd even say like we won the Boston Globe, one of the companies of the year, like employers of the year. which
Congratulations! I remember hearing about
thank
that.
you. That was
Yeah.
last year, and you'll hear something about this year soon.
Ooh.
But that kind of stuff, I just love the teams. I live for that because ultimately at the core we're just people, and that's
Right.
that's what we're made up of as a company of people. And some of the hopefully you've met some of the
I have
leaders in
met
our
some of
company.
your people. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's really
Which is pretty
you have quite a team.
Yeah, and now we have a sister business that we also own fully now, Divine Stoneworks,
Oh, okay.
in the same building. Yeah, we just closed 3 weeks ago on the purchase of
Oh,
the rest of it. Yeah.
nice.
So similar staff. We
Because
share
I
some
know you
resources,
were supporting them in
Yep.
their new business, so you
Yep.
now own it. And they're still everyone who's still on from
yeah.
Divine Stoneworks.
Just about. Yeah, just
Good.
about everybody. Yeah.
Good.
Which is pretty cool. We're very
Nice.
excited about that. Too.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, John, thanks for coming back to Around the Clock. It was great having you. Here's to hopefully another 20 years for the business. Maybe you won't be sitting there, but because you'll be retired,
Of course.
and
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And we look forward to celebrating with you on the 18th.
Thank you.
Great.
All right.
That wraps up this segment of Around the Clock. We will be back with more.